What is the 2025-2026 personal allowance? The personal allowance for the tax year 2025-26 has been established at £12,570 and will be applicable starting from April 6, 2025. Unless the government announces a change, the standard £12,570 personal allowance should be in use up to April 5, 2026. For the tax year starting April 2025, if your personal allowance is £12,570, you do not have to pay income tax on any earnings below this limit. If your income goes beyond the tax-free allowance for the year 2025 to 26, you will be liable to pay tax based on your income level through pay-as-you-earn or from self-employment. The personal allowance is automatically given by HMRC to all individuals, but it can be reduced or increased from the standard £12,570 depending on a variety of personal circumstances. Making sure your personal allowance is accurate has added importance for employed individuals because it's used to calculate your 2025-26 tax year tax code, which informs your employer or pension provider how much tax to deduct. Why is your 2025-26 tax year personal allowance important? The personal allowance is often the most valuable of all tax-free allowances and can be used against different types of taxable income like employment, self-employment, and rental income. Your personal allowance can be adjusted by HMRC to take into account factors that can either result in you paying more or less income tax. Some common reasons why your 2025-26 personal allowance may be adjusted include underpaid tax from a previous tax year. Other reasons include job-related employment allowances, having more than one source of income through pay-as-you-earn, and rental income from property. Employer company benefits in kind can also affect your personal allowance. An incorrect personal allowance usually causes an underpayment or overpayment of tax that can be avoided if it's adjusted by HMRC in a timely manner. Understanding the impact of your personal allowance on your tax obligations can help you effectively manage your 2025-2026 tax year budget. How do I check my 2025-26 tax year personal allowance? HMRC gives you a breakdown of your personal allowance for the 2025-26 year online via their app or your own personal tax account. You can use the same options to find your tax code. Your tax code reflects the personal allowance you have been given. For example, the 1257L tax code means you have a tax-free allowance for that year valued at £12,570. If you have doubts about the accuracy of your personal allowance or tax code, it is advisable to get in touch with HMRC to have it checked and confirmed. One way to accomplish this is by using HMRC's online-based tax code verification tool found at www.gov.uk Check Income Tax Current Year, which can help you avoid spending time on hold while waiting to speak with a representative over the phone. The 2025-26 personal allowance is used from the start of the tax year, which is on April 6, 2025. It remains effective until April 5, 2026, unless there are alterations made by the government or changes in your personal situation. What are the tax bands for the year 2025-2026? The tax rates and income tax brackets for the tax year 2025 to 26 are expected to remain unchanged from the previous year. Starting from April 6, 2025, once you exceed the tax-free threshold of £12,570, the following income tax rates will be applicable. The standard tax rate is 20% for income, ranging from £12,570 to £50,270. For earnings between £50,271 and £125,140, the rate of tax increases to 40%. Anything above this level is taxed at 45%. Scotland has a variety of tax rates and bands in place which are often different, starting at a rate of 19% up to a top rate of 48%. In the 2025-26 tax year, there are other possible sources of tax-free income, apart from the tax-free amount received from your personal allowance. To minimize your income tax liability for the 2025-2026 tax year, it is advisable to make use of all available tax-free allowances and reliefs. Typically, tax-free allowances need to be used before the end of the tax year on April 6, 2026, or you can lose the benefit of the allowance. Not all tax-free allowances and reliefs are automatically applied by HMRC, like the personal allowance, placing the responsibility on you to understand what you need to claim and any important dates associated with it. You can find out more about tax rebates, and use free tax calculators at taxrebateservices.co.uk. The content used in this video is intended for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute advice. We recommend that you do your own research on each subject and take advice from HMRC or a professional tax advisor.